Good afternoon. This is the session on Simple Sight. We're glad that you're here with us here this Monday at our Colorado Springs convention. To my right, a caller who is very well known for his sight calling abilities and all of his calling abilities, caller coach, Mr. Randy Dougherty. Let's give Randy a nice hand. My name is Tim Marriner, and we'll be moderating and helping and paneling and all of these good things. Just a couple of notes, just so that we can all be on the same page. Please, if you have pagers or anything that makes noise, cell phones or anything along the line, please turn those off or vibrate them or whatever, so they won't interrupt the session. Also, if you have questions or any comments that you would like to make, we'd ask that you make them on the microphone. That way we all hear everything that's going on, and the people who are purchasing the tapes or who are going to listen to the tapes hear everything, the question and the answer and the punchline, because if there's a joke being told, we want to hear it. So we appreciate that. And also, one last thing, you have in your packet a critique sheet, and we encourage you, please, to take that and make any comments that you have regarding this session and every session that you've been into, because they're looked at, and next conventions and previous conventions or prior conventions, all those things, they're going to be looked at, and we'll make plans accordingly. So please check all that out. The first and foremost, whenever we talk about sight calling, I like to make sure that everybody's familiar, or everybody has familiarity with what the square grid is. And a show of hands of anybody that understands the concept when I say a square grid. People who don't understand that. Well, let's explain it real quick. Let's say, for example, I had a north-south-east quadrant, east-west quadrant here, and it's lined up just like this. And you had your squares on the floor. And square, let's just say we're facing one square. And couple number one is in the south end. Couple number three would be in the north end. This is in my grid that I'm looking at. So, and then you have east and west part of that grid. And I think it's very important to have an understanding when you're calling what moves the dancers around and what calls move the dancers around that grid and how they work. If you don't have an understanding or a grasp of what a call does, don't use it. If you have a full understanding of what the call does and how it maneuvers dancers, and if you have that grasp, then you're okay in diving into more sight calling and into learning more about sight calling. One of the mistakes I feel, and Randy, you just jump in any time now. One of the mistakes I feel that we do often in any type of caller school arrangement is overemphasize the use of sight calling. We oftentimes will stress sight calling as part of the curriculum, and the first thing everybody wants to know is how to full extemporaneous sight call. I just want a free will sight and get out there and let's just call anything I can call. And as a result, you oftentimes have callers, and we hear this a lot, head square through, and the next thing you know, they're starting to try to resolve the square. And you see this. Do-si-do, step to a wave, ladies trade, boys circulate twice. Balance. Swing through, boy run, circulate boys, girls trade. Twice. Oh, bend the line. Okay. And as a result, the dancers are stopping and going, and there's not a flowness or any sense of flow or dance to the dance. And before you even worry about sight calling, you need to know and have a full grasp of what the calls do prior and what I'm going to do next. And hand availability and body flow. All that kinesiology stuff. What happens? If I say square through three hands, what hand's available? Left. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. Okay. If I say square through 7, what hand's available? Left. If I say square through 9, what hand's available? Why is that?
You went to the bathroom.
I went what?
You went to the bathroom. You called 9.
9, yeah. So
They're all odd numbers?
they're all odd numbers. Even numbers have that right hand free at the end of all those calls. And
Can I say something?
please jump right in. You know,
I want to apologize right off the bat because I took some Tylenol PM a little while ago. So if I fall asleep, kind of.
Oh, it's not the.
It's not that I'm on drugs. I just had a Tylenol PM. Truly.
Okay. Yeah, wake up. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, would that mean that if it was an even number, it would be a left hand?
Yep. Right.
Okay, I got it.
The other thing is you need to know ways of moving dancers. We oftentimes refer to the chicken plucker, and immediately everybody says, chicken plucker, yeah, that's so basic. But if you don't know how to move dancers east and west on that grid, how to rotate the dancers a quarter and then move them north and south, how to move them one at a time from across the set and back and forth, then you're not having a full understanding of how you can maneuver the dancers.
And especially if you haven't taught your class how to do dive through or trade by yet.
Or square through 3 or pass through or wheel in deals. And so you need to have, the first part or fundamental parts of sight calling are more important than trying to freewheel extemporaneous call. And there's a couple of reasons why. You don't have to rely on the squares so much. You can still maintain the information, the material here in your own mind. You have better control. And then also at the same time, if you're teaching beginners and they don't know square through 3, if they don't know the wheel and deal resolution plug-in, then how do you resolve if I'm teaching beginners? And there are easy methods of sight calling that are oftentimes skipped and just overlooked. We have a few handouts if you're welcome to grab one. The first type of sight calling that is the easiest is the one couple sight. One couple sight. And what that refers to is, it used to be also known as burnt image. And the caller will move a dancer from one formation and then will watch this couple. And they'll either take a paired couple or somebody that they know and in their mind say, okay, I'm going to start this one couple sight thing now. And they start calling calls that work and that will just maneuver with two couples around in that little area. If the paired couple's on the outside of the west quadrant, say it's couple number 4, and they're both wearing blue, well then you can always say, I'm going to call anything, and then when I put blue together over there, I'm going to be able to resolve the square. Or I now have that known formation again, and I can move along and call some modules now again. And the same thing can happen anywhere around the square, from 0 boxes, 0 lines. You can do it from across the street boxes, right-hand lady, corner lines, all of those types of different formations. But as soon as you're ready to go, you know you can put it in your mind. I'm going to start now. And you watch somebody take a snapshot, a mental snapshot, and start calling things, place them back on the footprints where they started, and you're good to go, back to calling whatever you want now. Yes, question. Oh, please use a microphone if you have a question, and state your name and where you're from, and we can.
Ready to go? Mm-hmm. Okay. When you're talking about the one couple, my name is Dan Hopper from Gillette, Wyoming.
Thank you.
I lost you. Oh. Okay. When you're going to move that one couple back and put them in the footsteps, what about the two couples on the, like say they're the sides? Say the two other couples opposite of each other.
Yep. Here's what happens. If you're calling things symmetrically, and most of the times we do, what happens on one side of the square happens on the other side. So if I get the dancers in a 0 box, as I say, head square through, or whatever gets them to that 0 box, I now blink or take a snapshot of couple number 4. And if I call two couple things right there, anything with two couples, then I can get that couple paired back on that outside spot again. Then I'm in a known phaser, or I'm in a known relationship where I know where the dancers are. Did that answer your question? So you don't have to worry about any of the other two couples. Okay, well, that's different. No, I'm not mixing. You're missing the point. I'm not mixing these two couples with the other couples at all.
You're calling to just one side of the square.
I'm calling to two couples, and I can do it from lines. I can do it from waves. I can do it from boxes. Okay, and that's pretty fundamental. That's the easiest form there. Randy, do you want to show them that, or should we go on to the next one and then show them both? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next step is, and that's the baby step of sight calling. If you master that form, then you're ready to go on to the next step.
It's really like, have you ever bought a two-couple dance tape before? Okay. Well, when you do a two-couple dance tape, you are doing one couple sight. Because only those four people are the ones that are moving and dancing. No matter where you go with them, you got them together. It's like always keeping them there. And so you really only have to remember two people. Mm-hmm. Once you take that snapshot of the two people that are in the spots that you want to take a snapshot of, or the burnt image of, your what's the word? Your go to get to go.
You're good to go for a get
out. Good to go for a get out. That would be the mini square, but that's what he's talking about with one couple sight.
Simple sight. That's a one couple method.
So you have four dancers, and go ahead and do some one couple sight. I'm your burn image.
Heads touch a quarter. You're the heads.
Okay.
Boy run. Okay.
So he took me to the box 1-4.
Okay.
Zero box.
So now from here, if I have a lady with him, if you would step up beside him just for a moment. Okay. From here, I can call anything that two couples can do. So we'll right and left through.
But these are the footprints he wants to bring us back to.
In the same direction, right and left through. Everybody veer left. Girls trade. Bend the line. I want to get them back. After the bend, you're on this side. On this side,
you're looking at
facing. So now, slide through. We'll put them back on the footprints. Ready? Slide through.
The phantom screws.
And there's the spot where I'm bringing them back to. But at one point, I said, I'm going to do it now. I make a point to do it. Watch them, either a paired couple or somebody I know, move them anywhere with that two couples and bring them back.
Okay. Got it.
That's very simple, basic sight calling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what would happen if you weren't doing one couple sight and you did this? Swing through. Boys run. Boys circulate. I just went across the square. You've kind of gone away from your one couple sight unless you have that boy run, boy circulate, and bring them back. You're going to have to move over because I ran around you.
Yeah.
Boy run again. So far, all I did was go around my little split racetrack twice, wheel and deal, and now we're back to go again, ready for a get out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's important. It's important not to go too far with it, but you can.
At this point, can I throw in something else?
Please, yeah.
Let's say that you're in your class and you've got that one couple thing you're using, one couple sight we call it, and it always is from the zero box. But you haven't taught your people how to square through 4. And so, pretty soon the new dancers get pretty used to heads go into the middle, turn and face your corner. They get pretty used to that, don't they? So what are some ways that we can get you there without saying heads go into the middle, face your corner? Using the first 10 or 6, 7, 8 calls in our program. That's way up there, boy. But that would work. Star through California twirl. That puts me there. I'm thinking like the pass-throughs. I'm thinking separates, promenades, circles, stars. Head lady's chain. Promenade in half. I got my opposite lady. I lead to the... Did you say lead to the right?
Yes.
Do they know that? Yeah, they know that.
Yep.
So that works.
Same thing if you say head lady's chain, lead left.
But lead is maybe down the road away. What if you just said heads, make a right-hand star, go over and look at your corner. You're there. Square through 4. Or, if I can do it with the right, I must be able to do it with the left. Heads, make a left-hand star, go look at your corner, say, hi, corner. you're there again. Or, easier yet, heads, swing your opposite. Turn and face the side couple nearest you.
And now, what he's describing, though, is choreography that you have to have an understanding of. All right, and
but it limits the first 4 or 5 calls that you know. And you got them over there.
Now, the next step of simple sight is going to be where you're going to follow 2 couples around. And a lot of times they would call this an isolated sight. The late Jack Lazary used to have a rubber band effect that he would describe a lot. And what you're doing is, at one point, you're making an effort. You're going to say, okay, from here now, I'm going to take these 2 couples and I'm going to maneuver them around the square without breaking them. So you do these actions, and I'm not going to separate them away. I'm not going to call the all 8 circulates. I'm not going to call the splits or anything that's going to chain or swap them around. I'm simply going to call things that these 2 couples are going to stay together. And when you put the paired couple up that you wanted to, that you already had in your head when you watched them, and you put them back on the outside, you know, or wherever it was that they had started from on that grid, if you put them relative to wherever it is on the grid and put them back on the outside, then you're going to always know where you're at. Always. And you'll be able to come out with a get out or resolve there. Can we get a square up that we can show that to, and then we'll show both of them again. So we need a square right here, and we'll get started on that. Please, 2 more. Randy, should we use the bibs for the folks to see them?
If you want to.
Oh, let's do that.
Number 4. I think that's a 4-lady.
4 man, 4 lady. Red 1, blue 2, yellow 3, and green 4. All right. Okay. So now, this method of sight calling is fun, because it stretches their imagination and your imagination, too, of what you can do. Okay? Heads, if you'll just walk in and just turn and look at your corner for a moment. Oh, actually, let's do this. Rewind. Rewind back, square your set. That's a good, I teach rewind. Do you all teach rewind early? Heads, will you lead to your left, just for now? Heads, lead left. Okay? Now, pretend, if you will, whatever you want, that this is a 0 box. We know it's not, but in my head, I can think or sense that this is a 0 box. As long as I put green on the outside over here, or anywhere around the square on the outside, we're going to be following these 2 couples right here. We're going to do this. So, swing through, please. Boys run. Couples circulate. Bend the line. Touch a quarter. See, they're still connected. They're in this column over here. We've got red and we have green still up here. I can column circulate twice. Or just circulate twice. Make sure it's complete twice. Good. And are they not together again still? Okay, I can split circulate once. Boys run. Now, what did I need? Oh, let's do this. Let's pass the ocean. Recycle. Pass through. Bend the lines. Pass through. Bend the line. All I need to do is now put green on the outside. So, everybody circle up 4 3/4. No. Sorry, circle 4. Circle 4 3/4. I've paired up green on the outside, and I have this couple on the inside. It doesn't matter where on the grid they are, but I know that I'm back in that box or wherever it was that I started from in the begin place, whether it's the 0 box or lead left box or lead right box or wherever you're at. But I know I have paired green up, and we're good to go to resolve.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
I want to pick on somebody without mentioning the name. Do you know what a lead left box is? He does not. Can you explain what a lead left box is?
Well, when I started the set, I said heads lead left. I could have easily said heads lead right. Okay, so oftentimes we'll say, well, that's a lead right box or a lead left box, and there's numbers and stuff for those things, but we like to speak in terms.
There's a zero box. There's an across the street box.
Zero lines.
There's cardboard boxes. There's.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Cigar box.
Cigar box.
Randy, if you'll pass that mic, I think to Keith.
Keith Ferguson, Saratoga, California. I guess I'm a little confused in how this is different from the one couple, except you did move people around. But in this case, when you did what you did, you happened to get that red couple in the middle. But could I have the center's California twirl for me? And then pass through. Now, what if after you did this, you'd end up with this? Now,
now you've broken what the rule. Veer home real quick, everybody. Veer home. All right. The rule for...
It's called regroup.
In Germany, that is a call. Hey, did you make it? Yes, veer home. All right. So, let's do this.
Just now came to you, huh, honey?
Heads lead right. Heads lead right. Okay.
So that'd be a lead right box you just did.
The rule is to not disconnect this couple from them. So, swing through. Boy run, couples circulate, and bend the line. I'm not playing with, in one couple site, I'm playing with just this one box, and I'm watching just them. With two couples, I'm making sure that they don't get disconnected from each other. So, pass through.
Oh, they just let go of hands.
Wheel and deal. They're still connected, are they not? Double pass through. Put centers in, cast off 3/4. They're still connected. I've got different sexes together, but it's okay for now till you start enjoying it. Star through. No, just kidding. Double pass through. First couple go left, next couple go right. They're still connected. They're still in that one line. Haven't disconnected them. Yes, touch 1/4. Here's the thing. If I said circulate once... See what happens. Circulate once. I've almost disconnected them. Because if I said boys run, then I've disconnected. I've broken the rubber band. I need to keep the 4 people together. So circulate again. And now green and red are still in the same column on that side of the column.
The rubber band was as if we actually physically had a rubber band around these people, and it would never drop off their waist. It could stretch, but it would never get to the point where it'd be so loose that it would just drop or it would break. If that guy was staying over, uncirculate one spot. The rubber band is going to break as soon as we call the boys run. Boys run. That rubber band had to break because the rubber band was around these 3 and this fella. So that's why the coin of the rubber band effect, and Larry, I think it was Jack Lazary that developed that. Center 2 boys, would you diagonally do a U-turn back and pull by on the diagonal right hand? And now they're back where they were. Okay.
All right. I'm not sure. Was it green and red we started with?
No, red and blue.
I think it was green and red. Everybody.
You did a lead right box, so that meant green was over here.
Very good. I had
green
colors.
was over there.
All right, so
red and blue together.
Yep. Okay, now look. Here's the beauty of this. Here's the beauty of it. When you're calling along and you've gotten to that point of reference where you know where they're at, you can use modules and to get them out or whatever to have a snappy get out, or you can start over again. And now I can do one couple site, or I can do 2 couple site and have new couples involved and worry about 2 couple site. If you do things like swing through, I'm going to watch blue and red now. Swing through. Boys run. If you do a call like Ferris wheel, yes, it breaks the rubber band. Go ahead and do a Ferris wheel, please. But if you pass through, it puts them back together again, quick. So that's a little game you can play with yourself along that line to say, okay, I might stretch this rubber band out to its max. I might break it a minute, but I'm going to bring them right back. And then you're off playing again, working the game of 2 couple sight calling, which is very, very fundamental calling, all right, for sight. Anything you want to?
Want me to add some more?
Yeah, yeah.
The whole purpose of this thing was to say, what if your group is not that far along? He was doing all kinds of choreography, circulating in trades and Ferris wheels. What if they're not that far along? You should be able to figure out, not so much the management of the formation, because that comes with time and years of experience. Formation and arrangements, the F and the A, that's important, but what's the most important part about resolving? The S and the R of the phaser, the sequence and the relationships. That's what you have to pay close attention to, and especially with your new dancers. So right from now, you've got 20 squares on your new dancer floor. We wished. 19 have broke down. How long do you want to call before you get this one square back? Not very long. Can you resolve in one call using maybe just circles, stars, whatever it's going to take? Think outside the box. Oh God, that's not that old one. You're not talking about the old one, are you?
They didn't make the tape. Please use the mic. Please use the mic.
Okay.
He's gonna make the tape.
The question was,
he said, "Boys star right," and yada yada.
Boys star right. Find your partner. Put an arm around.
Yeah, that might work once.
Well, first of all, you can't get the boys to make a star out here, so you have to make the formation available to get to that where the boys can star. But you're pretty darn close. If you have if you just say everybody make a right hand star a quarter, would you please do that? Back away, you got a line. Where's your corner? I think it must be her. She's got a C on her butt right there. So this is it. I resolved in one, boom, like that. Unstar, go back where you were. Mm-hmm. Can you guys come up with some? Think outside the box. If they only know stars, circles, and promenades and pass, got one? Okay.
You may have been facetious in using the 20 squares on the floor. 19 are broken down. Beginning class, you're assuming they're all broken down for the same reason.
They're standing looking at you, and they're making you very nervous. And you want to get to an Alaman left or right and left grand as quick as you can so you can get the other floors up, the other squares going again. This is the lead to the left box we have. Did you see that? Lead to the left box. There's other ways of getting them, this guy, to this footprint and having her to that footprint and being able to do Alaman left without saying star by the right a quarter. Hey, this guy is with it.
Circle
Say it,
4.
Elmer. Circle a quarter. Circle left a quarter.
Circle 4, 1
Circle
quarter.
4, 1 quarter. You're there.
Yep, there's very good.
Good.
One thing
And 1 quarter more, please.
One more quarter, just for sakes of.
Yeah. Now, I'm still in a box of 4. Am I still in that lead right box or lead left box or what? I'm still in the lead right box. The only problem is I think I got a sequence problems. And that's what I'm talking about, sequence and arrangements. Or not arrangements, sequence and relationships. They all have their partner. I know I can do one thing and get that guy to the corner like that. I already demonstrated it once. Center 2 boys. If I had you looking at your corner, you could resolve the square, couldn't you? Is this her? Center 2 boys. You turn back on the diagonal, shake hands, pull by. Guess who's there? That's it.
Yep.
Alaman left, promenade, 4 steps, 8 steps. Take her home.
Here's another reason why this easy form of sight calling is a really good tool to have to understand. Head couples, if you'll walk into the center, please, and turn a quarter to look at your corner. Just pair off. Look at your corner. All right. I know that I have a paired couple on the outside, and the game is, for 1 couple sight, as long as I can get that paired couple on the outside, I can resolve. If I haven't done all this strange stuff yet in the middle, I'm not calling spin chain throughs or any of that stuff. Simple stuff. Now, let's say the 1 or 2 squares that I have in my head, or the couple that I had in mind in the square in front of me, breaks down. Now I can go to any square in the room and find the paired couple on the left quadrant of the square, the left part of that grid, put them on the outside, and I can resolve. watching every square. And I didn't have to memorize who a primary couple is. I didn't have to worry about a secondary couple. And I didn't have to memorize a plug-in with a formula to get into a wheel and deal square through three pass through situation. All I did was call to one couple, work, play. If in my head I know how to do modules like invert and rotate, I can do that, and I still know where they're at, and I've paired them up now in the northern quadrant of the squares. All right? So everybody, if situation gets bad and the squares break down, I can pair up anybody, put them in that grid where I knew I left them. It's going to be a resolve, or whatever you left them there and you knew where they were at, whether it's an across the street box, zero lines, where have you, okay? So there's the beauty of that. And yet we go to state conventions and national conventions, and everybody thinks we're site calling. I'm telling you, with 300 squares on the floor, I'm not site calling a lick, because I want to know that everything I have in that 3 minutes works. It's my reputation on the line. To have so many people in front of me, I've got to get it right and not rely on a square. And if I can remember those two couples that I've written down and worry about a primary or secondary couple, it's too much to have to remember. And it's stressful when you have so many people looking at you. Okay? So that's why simple sight. You start with modules, understand the fundamentals of the grid, where it works, how to maneuver the dancers, and then use simple sight techniques, one couples. Even with, as Randy was saying, with your beginners. That's the easiest way to do it, because they don't know all the get-outs. And then you can go on and use the two-couple sight method, which is a little trickier, because you have to watch a little bit of what you call. And then you go into the extemporaneous calling, which is an art in itself, to be able to resolve squares. Randy?
Okay, face back in, heads. Everything we've talked about so far is the grid stuff, up and down and so on. But I want to go back to where we're mainly concerned with our sequence and our relationships, okay? Head two ladies. Go over and face your corner. Circle up three. All the way around. Let the ladies let go of each other. Put the boy between the guys. The guy between the two girls. What was in that pill you gave me? Lines of three. Go up to the middle and back. When we talk about sequence, we have two sequence states. The boys can be in sequence or out of sequence. Right now, the men are 1, 2, 3, 4. They're in. How about the ladies? Here's number 1 lady. 2, 3. They're in. What can I call to resolve the square here? Element left would work. Okay. Lines of three. Go up to the middle and back. You 6. Circle half. Back away. Are the women in sequence? Why not? Yeah, they're still in sequence. Check it out, guys. Are the men in sequence? No. I can't call element left no more. So I got to get that guy over to where that guy is. Good idea. Head men pass through. Face to your right, and everybody wake up your corner, Alaman left. Promenade home. Okay, Tim, I'm going to test you.
All right, I haven't had that pill.
Head ladies, chain 3/4, let the side gent turn you. Roll her away. We're in the same exact spot I was before. 6 to the middle and back. Those 6 star right halfway. Face in, get lines of 3. Take it, Tim.
Lonesome head men, do-si-do, hee-hee over and hee-hee all the way back. Yeah. Pass through, turn to your right, everybody, Alaman left.
Boy, he's quick, isn't he? Promenade home. So let's figure out what else you could do instead of having a headman pass through, turn right, which he just did again. You could have had the headman do what?
Promenade half, he said.
Let's hear that name and whoever. That was promenade half and face in. Well, he automatically faces in because of the definition. There's all kinds of stuff that some callers just avoid calling because they're so worried about getting out of the grid. You don't need to worry about it that much. Number 1 couple, lead to the right. Circle up 4, make a line. Number 1 gent break. Look at couple number 4. line of 4, go up to the middle, and number 4 come back. Come back. Good. Are we in sequence? Do we have partners next to us? Can I call Alaman left? Be pretty tough for those two. What would be a better get out?
It'd be a reach.
Circle left would be a good get out, or face your partner, do a right and left grand. It would be probably better than Alaman left. Okay? So, number 3 couple, lead to the right, circle up 4. Number 3 gent break, make a line of 4. Haven't changed a thing. Here we're back to our grid. Okay? Circle left a little bit, 8th. Are you home? Okay. Number 2 couple, lead over to the right. Circle up 4, make a line. Number 2 gent break, face couple number 1, look at this wall at me. Good. Number 1 couple, promenade outside. Halfway around. Slide out to the end of the line, veer right, in other words, and make a line of 6. 6 to the middle and back. I'm thinking sequence and relationships. You got your partner? You got your partner? You got your partner? You got your partner. Can I call Alaman left? No, because of why? Sequence. Because of sequence. It's not the 1, 2, 3, 4 that we're used to. Tim, take it from here. You got circles, stars, and promenades to play with. I should have done that too.
Let's have couple number 4 lead left, reverse circle 4 halfway around, reverse circle 4 halfway around. Everybody back up, join all of or the others bend as a bend and join hands and circle to the left around the ring.
He was sweating, wasn't he? Let's go back. Go back home, circle right the other way around. Number 4, you stay at home. Number 1 couple, go over and look at number 3 couple and veer to the left, and you people, California, twirl number 1. Here's where he was.
And 2 is bent, unbent out.
Oh, yeah, number 2 was unbent. So here's that line of 6.
They're
Again,
looking like L.
He figured out he needed to get this couple, so the sequence was going to work. He could have had this couple promenade the wrong way around 2. That would have put a line of 8 all looking at me, and then we'd have the sequence right. Or we could have number 4 couple down the middle, promenade, go around the outside, go around 4 people, squeeze in. I took those 2 head couples that were adjacent to each other, got them away. Now I can call something like Alaman left. The hard part is,
we better bend that big line.
You don't even have to call it. Just say, make that line look like a ring, circle to the left. Don't use calls that are going to confuse them. Promenade the wrong way home, such as that call.
Or you could drag her back.
Yes.
Such as that.
Start thinking more on relations and sequences, and you'll create all kinds of more things without getting boring to your new dancers. And let me tell you, they're going to learn all kinds of more things because of what you're doing in variety.
The simple sight methods, by using 1 couples and going back with 2 couples, can still provide a lot of variety in the dance. Okay? There's benefits. The advantage is, yes, you're calling a little bit more on the fly with some of these things. You're creating modules on the fly, if you will. The other thing is, if you're teaching new dancers, you have that ability of being able to resolve the square rather easily by working with the 1 couple or the 2 couple method. Okay? Let's give a nice hand of the square. I think we're pretty good with the square. Now, we have time now. We really need to go into some questions so we can help you with some other understandings of simple sight. Name and...
Ted Hughes. I'm from Massachusetts and Florida. You know, you never see local callers calling lines of 3. And I tend to like lines of 3, and because I'm not really an experienced caller, I like head ladies chain 3/4, courtesy turn, and chain them across, courtesy turn. And the lonesome gents, now I've got lines of 3, And it's a very simple move. And then I've got the gents, you can do whatever you want with them, but get them on the end of the pass through, peel to the right, go down to the end of the line. And now you've got your lines of 4. Have the center square through 4.
And where did you do that homework? At home.
At home.
At home.
No. I use my brain.
Use your brain.
So the centers square through 4. Now they're coming from lines of 4. And while they're squaring through, just before they get to the end of their 4, the others star through to an element on the left. And to them, that's unique.
But the idea here is, I stress, if you're thinking you're going to try to create that on the fly, it's not easy.
No way.
It's not. You need to know a full grasp of analyzing all the calls and full grasp of the material, but you got to do that at home. Don't experiment out here with the dancers. Yeah, no, I'm just saying for everybody who's listening too. But I like 3 lines. I like the lines of 3s. There's also stars of 3s that are kind of fun to work with too. But that's getting into more of a creative choreography thing. Let's kind of rein it back into sight calling here for the 2 couples.
Don Rouse from Denver. He said he had center 4 square through 4. What hand available?
You call Alaman left after that? Yeah, that's double left hand. So maybe make a right hand star and start looking for your corner to be better.
Just what's wrong with left square through?
Questions, comments? Everybody realize what Ted was saying? Head ladies chain 3/4. I did that. Side gent turn them, and then he had the head ladies chain across. They were on a diagonal though, right? They were the center 2 ladies, so they pull by. And now that boy courtesy turn them. Now the number 1 lady's got the number 4 lady, and the number 4 man's over here. What'd you call after that? There's 6 though. Lonesome men pass through, peel off to the right, to the far end of the line. Okay, good. He went back to his grid system.
Peeled and then went to some sort of lines. Any other questions?
Boy, boy, girl, girl line. Yep. You should play with your checkers and try to go at least, how do you get to a resolve from a lead right box as quick as you can, a lead left box as quick as you can, a 0 box as quick as you can, a 1P, 2P, which is our 0 line, as quick as you can. We all know that one. Alaman left.
And again, that's the use of modules to be able to help this simple method of sight, to have get outs, to keep it interesting. Yes, we have a question? Comments?
Just a comment. Ron Marcus from Tucson, Arizona. I think it's important that everybody realizes that when you want to get into 1 couple sight, you need to know the phaser at the start. Or 2 couple sight, you need to know the phaser at the start. So when you bring them back there, you can get them to where they need to be to a proper get out, because if they're not in a 0 box to start, then from wherever you started your 1 couple sight, you need to get them from there, or have a get out that will get them from there to a 0 box, or to a get out, a proper get out. Wherever you start, you got to know what that phaser is, and so you can get them from there to the proper get out.
The idea here is before you actually get up to start the sight calling, when you get to that point where in my head, I'm calling away and I'm going, and I get them to the 0 line, I think to myself, I'm going to start the 1 couple method now. And I'm in 0 lines. And that's having the known phaser in your head first. Work them, bring them back to that same footprints. They have to be in that 0 line again. Then you can use your module get out or something that you have snappy that you've written and prearranged. And it could be the 0 boxes, it could be 0 lines, it could be lead right boxes, lead left boxes, it could be corner lines, right hand lady lines, as long as you have a spot.
What Ron said was very important. If we did that star through after the 0 box, we're in a corner line. I got to remember I'm in a corner line. If I'm doing 1 couple sight, I'm going to keep these 2 people coming back to those 2 spots, and I do whatever else I want that those dancers can dance within this box. But I know what my get out's going to be.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not boring to the dancers. If you have wind in the face and you can keep them dancing, that's not boring. But I wouldn't want to dance the same two couples all night long and just watch them and watch them and watch them and watch them. I'm now going to take the invert and rotate module because I'm in a zero box. I just said like the head square through, and they're looking at the corner where Randy's standing. And I'm going to say, okay, I don't want to start the sight calling yet. I've played with these people enough. Let me move them from an east-west grid to a north-south grid. I'm going to invert and rotate by using the calls slide through, pass through, bend the line, slide through. And I'm still in a zero box, but they're playing with different people. Everybody understand that? If not, checker it out, because it is. From there now I'm going to play. And I'm going to pair and get Randy and his partner back together on the outside of that grid. If I'm working two couples...
She's over here.
If I'm working two couples situation, not just one couple, I can move Randy anywhere around the square and his partner. And as long as I keep the four of them together, when I put them and pair them up, I can put them in that portion of the grid on the outside, and it's in that known spot where I started. Everybody follow that again? All right, I've said that twice now, but the first time I said it, I had a little deer in headlight look going, how's that possible? But that's how it is. Okay.
When this guy's over here in this zero box thing, and you play your one couple side or even two couple side, have more than just knowing if I do the star through, if I want to do some call that's a get out, have some other ideas for other get outs from this spot. If I have you all face in, I'm on this spot. Can I call Alaman left now? Why not? Remember, I had the head square through 4. I'm looking at my corner. If I say everybody face in, I got her there. Now, if I want to get to this spot, I can't call Alaman left, but the get out would be what? For me, if I did everyone from this corner line that is in sequence, psi shade. So that's called
a half line.
Half line with the corner. We call it a half line with the corner. Here's a whole bunch of get outs. Watch this. I'm thinking. What'd you say the hand was? It was availability?
On which?
I'm thinking. Here we go. Square through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at my partner. And so I can call right and left grand.
With the right hand availability, too.
And if you don't know that, work it out with your checkers. There's so many other get outs I can do. If I do pass through, I still got her here. Okay? If I say, do you turn back, still got her there. I can still get to all those other two spots. I can say slide through to the corner, or I can do pass through and turn your back on your corner, and I'm right back where I was before. All kinds of little additional things.
Nice mic.
Don Rouse again. When you invert and rotate, do you actually change primary people then?
Yes.
You have to no two new people now.
No two new people. I can start it anywhere. I can make that snapshot when I make the decision that who I want to start with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Ron.
Does everybody know what invert and rotate means?
He just explained it, called it a couple times.
Yep.
Star through, pass through, bend the line, slide through.
If I said head square through 4, it would be equivalent of side square through 4 in that type of box. And there are other ways of invert and rotating too.
Lanny Weekland, Omaha, Nebraska. Randy, on that call you just did, you walked out, you did a square through 4 into a right and left grand. You were working with the outside couples facing in. Do you have any trouble with the success rate of getting the people to square through with the outside couples? Or will they try to square with the people in the force facing the same way in the box?
Depends on how much training you've given them on the square through, exactly. When I still like to teach people, teach them by the definition. And I'll show them more than one position. Will I practice them with more than one position? Not with my crowd. I've judged my crowd to be 65 years or older. It's a monumental thing to get 4 boys square through, or whatever.
Unless you teach it that way.
Unless you got a group
right
that
off.
You've judged, You know, if you got to, somebody said you got to know your crowd. If you're working with people that have master's degrees and they're doctors and they're dentists and they're physics teachers and everything else, they don't know right from left. My best day in my whole life was when I got to go call for my faculty that I went to high school at. I called for all these high school teachers that I was their students. They didn't know left from right because they've never experienced anything that made them learn left and right except when they were little children and they forgot.
Anybody else have a question, please? That's why we're here.
Know your crowd. Tools
for success. You're learning them.
Speaking of that, I find out the smarter they are, the dumber they are.
I'd choose a different word.
You mean for smart?
Yeah.
All right. If we don't have any other questions or anything along that line, we'll take the break. Let's give Randy a great big hand and all of that, too.
I hope you realize that we were kind of covering a lot of different things, and sometimes I got off the topic, but I want to invite you to a session that I'm doing later, CRAMS, which doesn't have anything to do with site calling.
The other thing that we'll ask you to do, again, we'll reiterate, is to take that critique sheet. If you enjoyed what you heard today and want to hear something again or would like to have future conventions with this information, please put that on the critique sheet so we'll have that and know it and be able to plan for it accordingly. With that, enjoy the rest of your convention, and again, it was good to have you here.
What a nice hand for Tim Marriner,
Enjoyed it. Thank
moderator.
you.